right, welcome to another Aloha Friday drip. This is Tyler Devereaux. You know what my middle name is? Vest. That's my middle name. Vest.
It's powerful.
Like you wear.
Dude, are we just making this connection that your middle name is your mother's maiden name and my middle name is my mother's maiden name? Did we just
become best friends? Get up here, bro.
Yes, dude. More in common. I love it. I love
Best.
it. That's funny.
That's what it is, man. Some people think it's best, and you know what?
Man.
It's both. You know what I mean?
No, it's a good name. Your grandpa has quite the legacy. So no,
my grandma.
Great.
Don't forget about grandma.
No, for sure. Well, a man's legacy is nothing without his wife. So no, definitely.
All right, dude. We're pumped to be back and recording and ready to drop some knowledge bombs in your ear, dude. Yeah. Let's do it.
No, I'm excited. Yeah, let's do it. Definitely.
Hey, last week we talked about complacency, and hopefully y'all have not been complacent with anything that you're doing.
No.
Have you been?
I'm not.
I mean, it comes from time to time.
I mean, I'm not perfect everywhere. So, yeah, there is things that what about, I'm going to return the question to you. Is there things that
you know what I did? I caught myself in error-ridden thinking and got that complacency out.
Fixed it.
Fix that shit.
Love it, dude.
One of the things we talked about, though, is complacency is a choice, right? And it stems from a diet of poor choices. So our job is to look at our diet, literally be aware of what we're intaking, what we're doing, right? And then change it.
Yeah.
Just like, we're about to change our in-office diet and the food we eat. We're getting meal prep. We're getting meal planners. We're getting a chef.
We are.
Woo! I cannot wait to do this podcast without a shirt on. We're going to be so effing ripped. I can't wait.
Well, I'll let you do that. I'll let you take the no shirt. I'll continue to wear a shirt, no matter how my body looks.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we cross that road, bro.
We'll see. We will see.
All right, what are we talking about today, my dog?
So I loved the complacency episode, and you mentioned in there's critical aspects that will make or break your business. So I wanted to talk about things that will make or break your business.
Yeah. Are you talking about the conversation we had the other day?
You're right. It was, we mentioned it in the episode as well, but yeah, we had a little bit more of a deeper conversation about it as well.
Sweet.
Those things that will make or break.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So maybe we pull out 3. I don't know. We'll decide how many at the end.
Love it.
I like how we do that.
I do too.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, let's dive in there. What are some?
Before I forget though, can I say this?
Absolutely.
Can I just say how much I love y'all out there listening to this thing?
Same, man.
Dude, that's like legit.
Legit.
Like, man, it's been so fun to see this podcast grow and into what it is, and it's just so fun to see. Dude, we talk about just the consistent effort, and I mean, man, when we first started this thing, for a long time, man, we would have very little downloads, and it'd be like, is this like?
What do we need to change?
Is this worth it?
Yeah,
Should we be putting our effort somewhere else? And now to see this thing just continue to compound and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and see the value that it's provided has been awesome.
For me, it's been a testament of consistency.
Yes.
Because it was, dude, for a while, I mean, it was like 15, 20 listeners. You know what I mean? And that was me making sure that the episode was up, 5 of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? 5
me, the other 5. I was re-listening to all of Dallas' shit just over and over and over again.
So it was, downloads were few, but just a testament to consistency. We kept with it. Thank God Dallas did as well.
Yeah.
Dallas is the one that carries the brunt load of this podcast, and he is king of consistency. That man is so consistent in everything he does. So no, it's not only been an amazing thing to be a part of, but it's also been a huge learning thing for me too.
Yeah.
To watch consistency, watch that principle come to fruition, and really, really witness it. It's been awesome.
Dude, one more thing. If you're watching on YouTube, you see I love bracelets.
You do.
And Alex from, I think it's Orlando is where, yeah, definitely Orlando. Alex, bro, appreciate these. They're awesome. In fact, when I walked in today, first thing Jackson said, "Oh man, I like the purple one, bro."
Yeah, I like those.
Sick.
Yeah, no.
Also, if you're watching on YouTube,
look
at these new J's, shattered backward. You just seen the bottom. You see the bottom of those shoes?
They're very clean.
Let me show you the top part. Look at these.
Look at that.
Backwards.
Someone did yoga this morning.
Oh, those of you who are just listening to this, you're missing out.
Tune into YouTube. Tune in.
All right, let's dive in. Okay. First thing, really we talked about, and this is, if I'm thinking of what we're thinking about, it was this stemmed from a conversation that I had with a student. So the first thing is self-talk, and I think that is, well, I know it's critical. Just self-talk, and it can make or break you, right? If you have positive self-talk versus negative self-talk. And I was having a conversation recently with a student through our education company, who I love, by the way. I freaking love her. She has such drive and determination and just this amazing attitude, and she is so freaking kind. She's awesome. I love talking to her. But I fear this, though. I fear that, like, her and a ton of other people, myself included, we get in our own way, We get in our own way. So I had connected her with a contact of mine and sent the connection, sent the information, but then they never were able to, like, sync up on a phone call. And so I follow up with this, and I was like, hey, were you guys able to? I don't know if they did or not.
Right.
Were you guys able to connect? And she was like, oh, no, it seemed like, she was pretty busy, and, I'm a newbie. I didn't want to bother her. And, and also, like, I know that I'm a newbie. She doesn't need anything from me. I don't want to bother her, And I was like,
why do you think that happens? Because that's such a common thing.
Oh, dude.
You were having a conversation with one student, but I know I've had conversations with students where that's the worry or the concern about reaching out too much, maybe.
And that goes down a ton of different paths because in our mind, this is the negative self-talk we're having. It's all about our lack of what we don't have and that we need something from somebody else. And we do need things from other people. Like, man, this is a team sport. This is a team business. Life, success, everything, I believe, is a team sport. But the key, in my opinion, is, first off, why do I think it happens? I believe negative self-talk stems from self-doubt, first off. So that's, we need to stop doubting ourselves. And we need to understand the value that we bring, right? So we correct that, I believe. I believe the correction can be fairly simple. Like, the correction comes from, I believe self-doubt turns into self-confidence through practice and then action. Right? So we have to practice. And I'll explain a little bit more about that, what I mean by that here in a second. But ultimately, we need to catch ourselves in error-ridden thinking, literally train ourselves to do that, right? That's part of being self-aware, of just catching yourself in error-ridden thinking. On the side note of that, like what I told her was, I was like, no, let me give, because I know the back side of this story with my contact and what's really been going on. I know that contact, and I won't drop names because I just don't want to do that. I know she wants to connect.
Yeah.
I know she wants to connect.
Yeah.
But I also know that she's been extremely busy doing other things, like tackling a bunch of problems that she had. But she wants to connect.
Right.
But here's what's the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Like, we've talked about how we ended up working together.
Uh-huh.
You reached out. Well, you were squeaky. Because I didn't get back to you, right?
No, yeah.
And that will happen a ton. And I always love it when somebody will write back and be like, hey, bro. Because it's a reminder, right? Because maybe I opened it and I thought I replied and I didn't, and then I forget. And then I just feel bad.
Right.
So somebody just being cognizant of it and, like, sending it back and be like, hey, buddy. Like it was like a friend, hey, dude, what's going on?
I know you're busy, but get back to me, bro.
Yeah. My bad,
Yeah.
So Scott Hoffman, if you're listening to this right now, I just saw your text that I had 3 missed texts from you, and you've been very patient with me, and I'm going to text you back right after this episode. Love that guy, by the way. Okay, so we have to correct it, and here's the reality. If we just have a different, instead of the self-talk of, man, I'm a newbie, no, nobody, I can't add any value, literally take a step back and being like, okay, what value can I add? And I compare that with, FIA and, the AM, they call it AMFers.
AM multifamily.
Yeah. AM multifamily. I know they call them just AMFers. I love
do.
it.
It's funny.
And the text, I was on a coaching call with, a bunch of our student base, and I read a text that she had sent me, which was this struggle that she had. We'd lost out on best and final. But I know, I'm so excited to update you when we, win this deal. And I know it's going to happen soon. It was all positive self-talk, dude, after a big letdown. And then what happened? They win a deal.
Yeah.
Why? Because she stayed throughout it. But we have to catch ourselves, right?
Yeah. She had that positive self-talk, though, always.
Yeah.
And she continued to have that. No, dude. Shout out to Fia, dude. Shout out to Fia. She is, her and her team.
It's awesome.
I'm spacing on the other names right now, but they are all every time I talked to them, so positive.
Yeah, they're great.
They had so many deals fall through and so many different things that didn't not fall through, but they didn't even get offers accepted. But the positivity that radiated from that team was insane every time that I was able to talk to them.
Yeah. Well, can I relate it back to the contact that I was talking about or talking to, the student I was talking to?
Yeah.
Because I mentioned that she's so kind. And literally, she is so kind. Like, bro, she sent me some of the nicest messages that, like,
I love that.
She sent me a message once when I was in a comedy show. So laughing, hilarious. One of the funniest ones I've ever been to. It was on Maui, out in Lahaina. It was so damn funny. Can't remember the name of it, though.
Was it the magic one that you were talking about? Yeah, I need to go.
So fun.
I need to go, yeah.
And I cried. I literally got teary-eyed during the comedy show because of this message. It was amazing, man. But you know what? She needs to be more kind to herself. So if you're listening to this, which I know she is because she always listens, I want you to be as kind to yourself and your self-talk as you are to other people. That's what I want you to be. So sometimes, man, we just have to catch ourselves. Like,
Can I ask a better question there?
Yes.
A better question there is, do you talk to yourself the same way you talk to the person you love the most?
Oh, I love it. That's a great question.
And you should be.
Yep.
If not more. You should be talking to yourself with more love, more patience, more grace than anybody else.
Well, because if you do that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to extend it outward too. You will.
And you're just going to be happier. Yeah, no, definitely.
So speaking about that exact same situation, okay, well, kind of. I was flying home, right? And there was a guy at the check-in counter who was ripping the lady, like the person who was checking her in or him in, ripping her apart. I don't know the situation. I don't know what happened. I don't know, dude. Yeah. But I know this. He was berating this lady. Ooh. And we're all standing in line and we're just kind of watching this like, holy shit, man. So I finally step in, okay? I step in and I'm like, bro, excuse me, man, but you have got to stop, man. This is ridiculous. Like, you've got to stop.
Wow.
And it was so uncomfortable. My heart's like freaking pounding.
I can only imagine, yeah.
And he looked, he was so pissed. But do you know who was so grateful? She was so grateful. But listen, that same type of thing, sometimes we're so much more aware. I don't know if that's the best way to say that, of how other people are talking to us or how other people are talking to other people. But once again, we have to be aware of how we're talking to ourselves. The same thing applies to us when we're talking shit on ourselves. Sometimes you have to just say, hey, excuse me. Get the fuck out of the way, Tyler. Yes, Tyler, I'm talking to you. Get the fuck out of the way. Go home, self-doubt. Get out of here, self-doubt, wherever the hell you live, but it ain't in my area code. Get out.
Get out of
right?
here. Yeah.
You have to, dude.
Yeah, you have to. It loops back. Sorry, were you getting ready to say something?
I was just about to say, Nick Dart sent me a message. Nick Dart, if you're listening to this, and he sent me a message and he said, hey, man, let me tell you what I loved about this. There's a video clip, and he said it was the subtle F word that got me, man. So, hey, I'm going to drop a couple subtle F words for you today. Mom, plug your ears, okay? Here we go.
No, but back to what you're saying. When you realize that and you have to have that conversation with yourself, you literally have to tell yourself, get out of here, self-doubt,
yes.
and like you have to pivot. You have to get back on track. It comes back to the principle, one of Dallas's go-to principles. I think it's part of his top 4, and it's TIMIC, mastering the conversation inside your head, right? Yes. The most important conversation is the one that you have with yourself inside your head. So, no, I don't think we could talk enough about that.
I love Dallas's principles and how he simplifies things, dude. He's so good at simplifying.
So good at it. So good at it. Okay, so first thing then would be self-belief and self-talk.
Self-talk, yep.
Self-talk stems from your self-belief.
Yeah.
So mastering those two things, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about consistency. Okay. We talked about consistency last week, and you talked about consistency in our efforts or in your efforts. I want to elaborate on that.
Dude, it goes right in line with what we were just talking about, dude. It does. Like, think about this podcast that we just talked about in the beginning. We start out on fire. We're so excited to launch a podcast. We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even really involved in that. I was just like, I was just
a supporter.
Yes, a supporter because I loved it.
Yeah,
I was a consumer of this product.
Yeah.
But it could have been very easy, man, through that process to be like, man, we got so much going on, and we knew why we wanted to start this. We had deep-rooted reasons why we wanted to start this and the value we wanted to provide, and that's what kept us going. But so many people, man, we start out on fire because we're highly motivated, we're excited, and we want to do this new exciting thing, right? But if you only do the work when it's convenient or exciting, you'll never gain momentum. And we gain momentum here because we we're consistent. And we gained momentum. We'll gain momentum in our business because we stay consistent. You know, I look at Alec Beardall and Tim Beardall and their team, you know, Mike Devereaux, that's my brother, and how consistent in their efforts they have been. Jeez. Alec came out to, it's your brother-in-law, came out to to live in Maui a little over a year ago.
Yep.
I think it was November of 2020. So yeah, a little over a year ago. And he starts diving into this business, helping me a ton, but learning as he's out here, you know, that was the whole point. And then just this consistent effort. He's consistent as hell, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's times when I'm like, man, is he going to give up? And no.
The answer is no.
He doesn't give up.
Yeah.
And now how many deals do they have? Two deals under contract. Yeah. It's the consistent effort. Dude, there's going to be days that you want to quit. There's going to be days like you don't feel like it. There's going to be days that you don't want to show up. The difference between professionals and amateurs are those who are successful and those who are successful, those who aren't successful, like that separator is stepping up and showing up when you don't feel like it. You know, achievers, successful people, they honor their commitments. Other people, they let shit get in the way. You know, those who are successful, and we were just talking about this 2 days before we started. I believe that this conversation is more for me than anybody else out there. I believe it because I've allowed myself to get distracted in other areas. I've allowed myself to, one of my favorite books out there is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's one of my favorite books. I love it so much, man. And every time I read it, it reminds me of how easy it is to get distracted, how easy it is to get off course. And it reminds me that is exactly what the adversary wants to have happen. So what does the adversary do? Well, it's, the adversary's greatest tool is distraction. There's a bunch. Distraction, doubt, fear, because it stops us from making definite decisions, right? We can't, man. We cannot allow ourselves to do that. Achievers know what they're working on. They honor their commitments. They don't let shit get in the way. They have purpose, right? They have purpose. They have direction. They know what they're doing. When so many other people just get distracted and drift a lot of the times without even realizing it.
So I guess a question that I would have to follow up here, right? Everybody starts out pretty consistent because they're highly motivated. Mm-hmm. And they want to achieve they want the end goal, right? And that's why they start. How can someone continue to stay motivated during the grind, during the time where they're not seeing a ton of results?
To remember do you know why they stop getting? Because it's really, I believe it comes back into number one, this self-doubt, self-talk, right? We doubt, is the goal really possible? I look at people who come to, a presentation or a 3-day class. There's so much energy there. There's so much hope there, and they leave with so much energy and hope. Well, then what happens is they go back into the world just like all of us do. And we have to figure out how to maintain that energy and that hope in regular everyday life.
Right.
And so how do we maintain that? Well, first we have to remember always. This is why it's so important. So here's your actionable. You write down your goals and your why every single day. You speak them out loud every single day. You want to know why? Because that recommits you to what it is. It gets you more definite in your aim and your purpose. And I'm going to have a moment of vulnerability right now. Do you want to know my morning routine has not been the best as of the last little bit, but one aspect of it specifically is speaking my goals out loud.
Okay.
And that is huge, man. That's why I feel like I'm talking to myself when I'm talking about this episode and these principles, is because when you are speaking your goals out loud, you see them, hear them, feel them every day, which means you're very definite in your purpose. You're very definite in your aim. And if you do that, you will stay. It's not about being motivated, dude. It's not about.
Right. That's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah. Motivation is fickle, right?
Exactly.
I was talking about that. It's fickle.
Yeah.
We have to stay committed. Mm-hmm. Committed. So.
Another actionable there.
Yeah.
Something that I learned from you that's been huge for me to stay consistent is that your why has to be bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
So when you're putting down your goals, you're putting down your why, those goals have to be bigger than what it is. Then it has to be outside of yourself. It has to be something that really, if you're not going to do it, then no one's going to do it. You have to. It has to be something that's going to push you and drive you to making that and defining what that why is.
I want everyone to write that down, to internalize what he just said, because it's key. We'll give up on ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
But if we can connect our why, and I believe purpose does transcend self. It has to.
It has to.
So once again, because we'll give up on ourselves, but we won't give up on others as long as that's defined correctly, right? So it has to transcend self, and we have to know what that is and continue. For example, do you want to know why? Well, I know you know why. Why I come in here and I work in the office, it's because it's not about me. It's about all the students who have entrusted us, all the investors who've entrusted us with their money, all the students who have trusted us to teach them and guide them. I carry that.
All of the employees or team members that we now have that entrust us with employment.
Totally.
Yeah.
And creating this, work environment that is a positive work environment. And that as we grow, dude, I'm so grateful for our team members, dude, and just the people that they are, like the people they are, the commitment that they have. I'm talking about my commitment.
Yeah.
Dude, my commitment is a fraction compared to the team members that we have. Like I look at our fulfillment team and our coaches and our just customer support and how patient and loving and dedicated they are. It's like, man,
love them.
Love them.
I could feel that. No, and I just want to reiterate that. No, totally.
Can I be honest with you? Some people are hard to deal with, man.
Yeah.
You want to know why? It's because they're stressed, they're nervous, they're anxious, they're wondering, right? And when we do that, sometimes we take that out on other people. And do you know who usually gets the brunt of that? Our coaches get the brunt of that. The people who are literally, they've dedicated their day, their career to helping people. And those who progress and succeed in this business recognize that effort that they're putting in. Those who don't, they're looking to point fingers. It's rare, but it happens, and it doesn't matter. That's why I'm telling you, when people send nice messages and they recognize support, or recognize the support that they're giving, and recognize the effort that they're putting in, people think that we hear that all the time, or that it might go, on deaf ears. No, it doesn't, man. Because for every one of those, you get a couple people that are just frustrated in their own way and trying to help them, and it just goes a long way when people recognize the effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So first thing, self-belief, self-talk.
Yep.
About these things that are going to make and break. Yeah, go
keep
ahead.
Going, sorry.
No, go ahead. Did you want to add something to what you were saying?
It's not about being perfect. I just want to clarify that.
About consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not about being, because, dude, things are going to come up. Like, let's talk about this morning, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this morning.
What happened?
We were supposed to record at what time?
6:30.
And I texted you at 6 and said,
oh, shit, my alarm didn't go off.
Yeah. I didn't wake up this morning.
Yeah.
I didn't wake up.
Right.
And the reality is my alarm did go off. I just pushed snooze without even recognizing I pushed snooze.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because it was too close to my damn bed. I didn't recognize it, dude.
That's crazy.
So that's going to happen, okay? But I'll tell you this rule that I learned from Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits was the book of the month last month. A rule that I learned from Atomic Habits was never miss twice. Missing one workout happens, but never two, dude. Maybe I get sloppy and mess up my morning routine like I did this morning, but never twice in a row. I'm going to tell you tomorrow there will be this sense of urgency like never before, because I know that, missing once, that's an accident, but missing twice, dude, that's the start of a new habit. That's the start of a new identity. And that's a huge success separator, by the way. Winners, they just rebound quickly.
Fast, quick.
Yeah, quickly. But losers do the opposite of that. Shit. Fuck. Well, son of a bitch, I missed my workout. Well, you know what? I just start back up again on next Monday. Now I'm off. Now my routine's off. I can't go back and do chest or back because I missed chest, and I don't want my lats to outweigh my boobs, my pectorals.
Silly.
F it. Started on Monday.
That's silly.
But how many of us do it?
I mean, how many times have you done it? I mean, I know. That's why I ask. I've done it before. It's a thing. It happens for sure.
So the problem isn't slipping up. The problem is thinking that it's perfection or nothing, right?
I love that.
Yeah. It's just showing up. Showing up on the bad days are so valuable, man.
It's one of the reasons why I love yoga, dude. Almost every beginning of every session, they congratulate you. Congratulations for making it here.
Great job.
The hardest part was getting to the mat.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's that consistency.
I love that. You're right, man. I haven't necessarily noticed that, but that's exactly what they do. I love that. And it's because those lost days hurt you way more than successful days help you do. Okay, so I'll give you this example, okay?
Yeah.
So in Atomic Habits, once again, he gives this example. By the way, Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you haven't read it, you should. It's a freaking great book. But he gives this example, and he says if you start with $100, then a 50% gain will get you to $150, right? But if you need it, or you only need a 33% loss to take you back to 100. In other words, right, avoiding a 33% loss is just as valuable as achieving a 50% gain. So just showing up helps you avoid that loss. That's why showing up, even if it's bad, is so important, man. Like, showing up maintains these compounding gains. But more importantly, I believe more importantly than any of that, dude, is showing up enhances our identity. Today, when I miss and I don't wake up, it's like, shit, it's not who I am, right?
Right.
But once again, missing once is a mistake. Missing twice, that's the start of a new habit. And so
that's growth mindset, though.
Yep.
That's growth mindset of saying that's not like me.
No, yeah.
Instead of just throwing your hands in the air, right? We talked about this in one of our past episodes. Your brother Mike misses a putt. Yeah. You miss a putt. Shit, I missed a putt. Damn it.
Horrible putter.
I'm a horrible putter. He misses a putt. He says that's not like me
to
miss a putt. It's the same. It's the same principle here.
It comes back to self-talk, right?
Uh-huh.
So now tomorrow when I wake up at 4:15,
you're gonna have the best workout.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. And I did go work out today. Still, I just came in the office late because my whole morning started late and I missed recording. Right. But now I'm the person who doesn't miss, and so are you. When you don't miss twice, you might mess up once, but never twice. When you don't miss twice, when you recorrect, now you're the person that doesn't miss. Working on your business for 5 minutes, maybe that doesn't improve your business a ton, but you know what it will do? It will reaffirm your identity, which will also help your self-talk, by the way.
Right. We're talking about gym as an example, making it to the gym. But exactly how you just said it can be applied to your business.
All
of this. That's why we're saying it, is because it applies to business as well.
We use physical activity because I think that it relates so much to so many people that get that. But, dude, it's the same thing with our business, dude. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing.
Relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for sure. Awesome. Okay. Last one I want to talk about is experience.
Okay.
How will experience make or break your business?
Also,
shout
out to Zoa energy drink. It's the Rocks energy drink. Not
sponsored.
Not sponsored yet. But The Rock, if you're listening to this, which he is, of course.
I'm sending him this episode for sure.
Thanks for the what flavor is this?
Coconut.
Pineapple coconut.
Ooh, yum.
Okay, experience. And what I mean by this, so once again, you look back at this topic we're talking about, things that will make or break your business. And I'm not talking about experience like that if you don't have experience, it's going to, well, yes, I am. If you don't have experience, it's going to break your business. But how do you gain experience? That's, I guess, the key here. People lack experience because probably because they let number 1 and 2 stop them, right? They let self-doubt and consistency stop them. Let me tell you the most simple hack. And people will think that it's not this easy. Yes, it is, dude. It's consistency. It's showing up every day. That's what it takes, dude. Period. That's what it takes. That is it. If you do that, you will look back and be like, holy shit, it really is that simple. But it's because, so people lack 1 and 2, they have bad self-talk. They aren't consistent because of that self-talk, which then stops them, prohibits them from gaining experience. Like there's this progressional state that has to happen on the road to success, right? So education, getting educated, right? It'll lead to, so you think of relating it to sports, okay? Education leads to practice. So what do you do first? You learn the basics, and then you go practice the basics. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Right.
Then practice leads to experience, and meaning now you take that practice and you take it into a game. And that experience leads to confidence. But most people get stuck in education and practice because there's zero risk there. There's also zero reward there. Like you can't win a championship by only practicing. You have to take it to a game, like it's the same thing, man. You could go and study and learn and practice your elevator pitch in the mirror for fucking years. But until you go and you actually try that on an actual live human being that has the potential to shut you down, you're never going to gain experience, which means you'll never gain confidence. So
that's huge.
So
that's huge.
I'm going to break these things down. Okay, so education is learning, obviously, and so many people get stuck in that realm, right? Our success rate with anybody, let's relate it to our student base, right?
Yeah.
In the education company, our success rate from individuals who just take this first step of education, our success rate is 0%. 0% success rate. 0. Okay. Practice. Those individuals who take that education and then now go practice. What practice is it's taking action without consequence, right? And our success rate from individuals who take that education and practice and stay stuck, 0% success rate. 0. But now, practice, right? You're talking about practice?
Talking about practice?
You're talking about practice right now? Who says it?
Come on, dude.
It's one of my favorites.
Allen Iverson.
It's like
dude.
literally the interview is my favorite. But those individuals who...
That's error-ridden thinking, by the way. AI had to point you out, had to call you out. That's error-ridden
He's listening
thinking.
to this too, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely. Get to practice.
Get to practice. You got to practice. Practice
you
is
have
great, right?
to, yeah.
But then you have to take that practice and you have to take it to experience. Experience is taking action with consequence. There has to be consequence. And our success rate there, I don't know, 60%. It's never going to be 100%.
No.
It's never going to be 100% because you still need consistency. You can go out there and you can take that practice to experience, and people will do this too. They'll go gangbusters for a week and then take a week off. And then go gangbusters for another week and then take a week off. Dude, confidence stems and comes from successful application of knowledge in an environment with risk over and over and over again. And our success rate there with people who do that, 100%.
Yeah.
100% because they're consistent in that action with risk, which gives them confidence, which then, boom, takes them off.
It's been super interesting to watch and witness this happen. It's
been amazing. Yeah.
It's been amazing. We have got some students that have come on board and they've been able to turn deals really fast.
Yep.
Within the first couple of months, they come on board, they're turning deals really quick. Then we have these other people that have been on with us for close to a year, some people close to a year and a half.
Yep.
And they're just getting into their first deal because they stayed consistent.
Yes.
That's literally like, you can ask any one of them, how did you get into this deal after a year and a half? And I guarantee you all of their answers are going to be just because I stuck with it. Because I stuck with it and I kept going because of
do you know what I'd be interested in asking them? When did the consistency start? I bet that it was fairly inconsistent in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they realized through Dallas's drips and your extended cuts with Dallas or whatever, that consistency is key. Then they dial in consistency. Then they start gaining momentum.
And now there's so many students in the network, like all of a sudden turning deals.
Oh, it's
awesome.
The compounding effect is
crazy right now.
Crazy, right? It's nuts. It's so fun to watch.
But it's been fun to watch all of these people that have stayed consistent, that have understood that they need to stay, and everything's just falling. The snowball is just rolling and getting bigger and bigger, and more people are turning deals within the network, and it's been incredible to watch.
It's fun. That's agreed.
Okay, do you feel like people get stuck because they fear they won't do it perfectly when it comes to these things?
Perfectionism is totally a killer, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people stay in practice mode. You know, growth comes from pushing yourself enough to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting for things to be perfect, what happens if you're doing that? If you're waiting for things to be perfect, you're not allowing yourself to execute, make mistakes, and evolve. We're all in this to evolve and to grow, right? So backtrack that. How do you evolve? If you reverse engineer it, if I want to evolve, I want to become this person, I want to reach these new goals. Well, then reverse engineer what I just said. Make mistakes.
Yeah, If the first step backwards is fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
Learn, implement, fail, evolve. Another one of Dallas's just gems, dude.
It is.
So nobody's perfect, by the way, either. That's what's funny. We want to be perfect. We want to execute perfectly, but nobody's perfect. Perfect's not. It's not relatable. Perfection doesn't exist. Dude, we just did an investor webinar yesterday. Yeah. And I've done a whole bunch of investor webinars. And what happens? I get to the most critical point of the web. These are new leads that have come in, and we're pretty much giving them this introduction into our investment company and then leading them to this
opportunity,
call to action to give them, or for them to move forward on and looking at and investing in opportunities. And I forget a slide that it's our track record that shows our returns, it shows our portfolio, it shows our track record of success. And I somehow it wasn't in my slide deck. I don't know where I
got hit or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what did I do on the webinar? I literally, do you remember this part?
Yeah, you stopped to pull it up.
And I said, shit, I totally missed this.
Yeah.
You see me like get a little flustered right here. It's because I forgot to put a slide in here. And you know what? Shit. It's an important one. So let me pull it up. You know?
Yeah.
And then and you know what that does do? Immediately it eases people's, I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you came off as relatable. You know what I mean? You came off as things like that happen.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to skirt around it and bullshit your way around the mistake you made, you addressed it and you attacked it and then fixed it and brought up what you needed to bring up.
I love that though. I love that. But do you want to know why I think that I'm comfortable in that situation? Because I've effed up in front of multiple people a lot of times. I've put myself in positions to make that a reality that I'm going to F up, and I've effed up a lot. And I just, so it's like, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm grateful for that. I never want to lose that.
No, comfortable being uncomfortable is a trait that you'll find in anybody successful too. Yep. You've got to get uncomfortable. Got to get uncomfortable to grow. Anything else you want to add there on these things?
I don't know how long we've been going, but I feel like we've been waxing, and everybody, I hope that you gained value from this. I love talking about these. This was a fun one for me.
Yeah, no, it's been good stuff. So just to recap, we went over 3 things that will make or break you in this business. First thing being self-talk. That stems from self-belief. So believing in yourself and mastering that conversation in your head that Dallas talks about often. The second thing that we talked about was consistency, which we kind of covered last week. Yep. We covered even more in depth this week. Consistency, it's not about being perfect, but it's about continuing to show up and be there for ultimately for yourself and for your goals.
Compounding growth. Man.
Yeah. And then the third thing we talked about just now is experience, gaining that experience. And the only way you can gain that experience is by learning, practicing, and putting it to work.
That's it.
And failing.
Yeah, you have to move from learning to practice to execution, which, experience will bring you confidence, which once again ties all of that stuff back in, because as you're more confident now, then your self-talk will be better. You'll be more consistent because you see the growth happening, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, dude, and that leads right into the Hawaiian value.
Can I actually mention one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're just consistent in learning, your confidence isn't necessarily growing.
It's not.
It's not growing
at all. It can't.
Because, So you have to be consistent in putting yourself out there through action.
Taking action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Leads into the Hawaiian value. Tyler asked me to find the Hawaiian value today and bring it up and talk about it. So this is what I wanted to bring. The Hawaiian value. Are you ready for this, or is there anything else you wanted to add as we kind of wrap up here? The Hawaiian value that I found today is kind of honestly perfect for the 3 things that we went over. And the Hawaiian value is, I'm going to try not to mess this up, aha nui.
Aha nui.
Aha nui. It's not even close.
You did good,
it's
bro.
Close.
Yeah, you did.
It's close.
Great.
Meaning enduring patience, especially during times of great stress, and always with love. I love that.
Yeah.
Especially with the things that we've talked about today, is these are 3 major things that you have to do to be successful, because like you're saying, it'll either make or break your business.
Yep.
Make or break what you're trying to achieve.
That last part's important, though. You just told me to do that today.
Do it with love.
Yeah.
Have some patience with yourself. Have some grace for yourself. And endure these hard things, right? You're going to try to be consistent, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to fail one day. You're going to be there the next day, then you're going to fail the next day, and then you're going to be the next. That may happen. Yeah. But having that patience and enduring that, and loving yourself and realizing that it's a process is the Hawaiian value today. And I think that that's so important.
I agree, man. I love that Hawaiian value. Patience is the ability to wait without getting angry or frustrated. That's why it takes a lot of self-control to live the value of aha nui, man, because when we're waiting for these things, we have this big goal that we're looking to just crush, right? But it takes these consistent effort, and this consistent effort is going to take patience, love, confidence. So when we get emotional and stressful, or something is irritating, which is going to happen, they always will happen. We have to catch ourselves, check in, and freaking correct course.
Love it.
With love.
With love, always.
Hey, speaking of that, great episode, dude.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. No, it's great. It's all you. All you.
So all y'all out there, I hope that you have an amazing weekend. I hope that you share the hell out of this episode. Like, rate, review, comment, share, whatever you're supposed to do. And always Live with aloha, my friends. Peace.